My wife and I, we were the youth ministers at Highway Tabernacle in town here. We were there for 5 years. And after we had been there about 3-4 years, one day I was driving out down 224 through Poland going out to New Middletown. And I got right there in the center of town, right where the clock tower is today, right at that red light.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, it was like just a little wind just blew into my head.
Wow.
It said, someday I'd like to come out to this little church, this little town and start a church.
My name is Marie Monterelli, and I've been a part of New Life as a charter member since day one. Most of my family was also. We met at the UFCW hall and outgrew that and started to build our new church.
I'm a charter member. I was there from day one. Pastor Bull was a youth pastor at Highway Tabernacle, which we were going to. He wanted to build a church in Poland. He started a church, and my father worked at the high school, and we used the auditorium for the church, until it was built. Once it was built, I was working somewhere else, and then I lost my job, and it so happened that Pastor Bull the church wasn't big enough, so he added on. He needed more room, so I want to thank Pastor Bull for hiring me. He gave me the job.
We were down in Poland at the school, the elementary school it was, in the basement, and they had duties for us before we even got to sit down, Jim and I. They asked if we would babysit for 2 little babies, infants. I said, sure, because I love babies.
I attended Royal Rangers for 25 years, and I loved that too, teaching the kids. And I did everything in the church at the time. I did weddings, banquets, and we even had a preschool come at one time for like 10 years, which had quite a few kids, which really gave me a lot of work.
Pastor Jim, that's our son, came in from Arizona for a visit, and was going out for breakfast, stopped at Calla Road and West Reserve Road. And he says, see that big sign in that field? I said, yeah. He says, we're going to church tomorrow. I said, we are? We went to church.
And it wasn't too long after that the church grew a little bit, and we had a little office in Poland while the church was being built. And then Christy called me, and she says, Marie, would you like to help me with a little bit of bookkeeping and some mailings? And I said, sure, I'd be glad to. So for a couple of days a week, I started that way. And then when the church was built, Pastor Bull asked me if I would like to come on as a bookkeeper and take that responsibility off of Christy.
So because we started the American Legion, from the American Legion we went to the Poland elementary school. We met there for a few years until the old sanctuary was built. And then because our church was growing, Pastor Bull and the board decided to, start a capital campaign to have a new sanctuary, a bigger building.
Well, it was exciting because as the church evolved, it kept growing in numbers, and it was fun to be a part of the growth and part of the vision that Pastor Bull and Christy had, and was the music and all the things that were, I'm going to call old time stuff, were here, and was right down our alley.
Well, it has impacted my whole family because at first my husband was not receptive to come to church, and I will put my hand right next to me on the pew. And I will pray for the day that my husband will come and sit next to me. And he did come, and he started coming. Unfortunately, he could never sit next to me, but he would sit in his wheelchair next to me. And that was very special. When I really didn't think he was ever going to ask me to come to church with me. After 23 years, I kept asking him to come. In 23 years, he said no. Until one day he said, I'm coming to church with you. And that day, he gave his heart to the Lord. So the new life impacted me and impacted our family. It made us closer together. And then one by one, our children start coming to the Lord.
Pastor Bull just was so loving. And as a new church growing, he was helpful in any way you needed help. The choir, which I was a part of, grew to be huge during the time of Pastor Bull and Christy, and that was wonderful. I was a part of that. We had wonderful cantatas. Pastor Bull helped with those productions. It just was a really good musical time for me, and under Pastor Bull and Christy.
Pastor Bull, oh, he was like a father to me. He was. It chokes me up even to think of him. And Chrissy and their son, little Andy, was a little boy then.
Well, Pastor Bull was exactly what I needed in my life at the time. He is black and white. He's not in the middle. He said, a lot of things like, if you are lukewarm, God will spit you out of his mouth, and I sure didn't want that to happen. And he provided stability in my life with the way he spoke the word of God into my life, prayed for me. And it was, I needed something stable because everything around me was falling apart. But he was the one I could go to, and he would help me to understand the Lord and God's will for my life. And what God how much God really loved me that I never understood, I never knew until he started speaking the word of God and speaking into my life. And I have to say he was my spiritual father, because I didn't know of anybody else that poured all of his time and prayers, into me like Pastor Bull did. And I'm forever grateful for him.
Just what an example, of love and of caring. I felt I could be myself with them, which I probably talked to them, telling them just what I'm telling you now. But they were just I can't say enough about them. They were like just a new experience in the Lord, and so I still love Pastor Bull. Pastor Juan and Deidre, they were just, what could I say? I just love their personalities, their love. Of course, Pastor Juan used to like to tease me, but so did Pastor Bull. But they were just wonderful. I actually got to go on a trip to Israel with Pastor Juan and Deidre. It was offered, and I wouldn't have been able to go, but my kids paid for me to go. And what an experience to walk where Jesus walked. Pastor Dave and Pastor Liz are so loving. Pastor Dave, I just love, he's down to earth. And he loves and has passion for the Lord. And he has the courage to speak things maybe that others would be careful, but if you know him, you know how his love for the Lord and his experience, and he's gut level honest about his past. And I think that's so important, that whoever are our leaders in that they've been through things, because what we've been through, we can then encourage other people. And I could not be more blessed than belonging to a church like New Life, and the experiences I've had through the Lord in my own growth. And even though I have a little mileage on me age-wise, I'm still learning. I'm still learning and growing. Yeah.
Well, I think Pastor Dave, he's a guy that, or I shouldn't say guy, he's a pastor that you could work with, and he's been very much a part of our lives as well. And we've done things as fun as going to football games together. And I think the best thing though was our working here at the church when he first came, and being a part of his initial start here at his ministry.
Pastor Dave is what I'm going to say that I tell him all the time. When he agreed to come and take this, it's not a job, I would just call it, take this challenge, let's call it. And I got to know him and Liz. I said to him without even thinking, I said, Pastor, I said, New Life is everything. You are everything that New Life has been looking for. But New Life is everything you've been looking for. And he said to me, you are right. And so sometimes I forget how I said it, but it came out just perfectly. It was so amazing, like if I was rehearsing it. But it is true. He is everything that New Life was looking for and what we needed at the time. And I also know that he was looking for a place in a church like New Life. And he'll tell you that because we talk about it a lot of times.